Previously on IT Idiots.
This week, what we're going to have a look at is something I've been interested in for a while, and certainly my job's involving a lot more of this technology recently, is storage area networks. And we've got a little demonstration lined up.
Why do we need these t-shirts?
They look all right. I think they look quite cool.
The explosion of virtualization. However, we haven't done one yet. Exchange 2010 kind of breaks that rule, doesn't it? Because
Yeah, the performance, that really interests me, because I mean, lots of people always assume that localized disk are always going to be quicker. It's got to be quicker, it's the same. It's the same.
in this day and age, everybody's still talking about the green effect, aren't
Absolutely,
they?
yeah.
And most people I speak to, as soon as you mention the word SAN, they straight away think of fibre channel.
I think I do know is they're expensive. Lots of people assume that iSCSI is really, really cheap. Because
And we're showing that, how you can do it on the cheap, and also you'll see why it doesn't perform very well.
Yeah.
And I've heard rumours that 16 gig is on the horizon. So when this first came out, it was significantly cheaper. Out of the box, without buying any additional hardware, you can connect up iSCSI. With iSCSI, all of a sudden is what are all these things? I've never heard of jumbo frames.
No, I remember that.
I've never heard of flow control. And most people, when you talk about fibre channel, just think of the orange cables and kind of get confused between the cable and the actual protocol running within the cable. Who do you listen to? Because every manufacturer will say theirs is better.
One thing we're sort of leading up to, we mentioned before, is you can't just go out and buy SAN. You need to understand what you're going to do with that SAN, don't you? You need to do some benchmarking to understand, what kind of performance you want from it.
Yes, that's when we finished. That's roughly the setup that we're going to be playing with. So we're going to have a server which is connected to a LAN via normal IP, and on that same LAN, which is not what I would recommend, but for the benefit of this and demo, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to connect we've got an iSCSI storage device.
Okay.
And also, which the main thing we're going to use is this iSCSI gateway. And also on our LAN, we've got a Hyper-V server, which you've built, and inside that we've got a virtual machine, is that
virtual
right?
machine, yeah.
And then you want to see if we can present an iSCSI
Directly into the virtual machine, yeah.
So we're going to take a fibre channel disk, and we're going to present it via iSCSI into a
that does
machine running on Hyper-V. And then we'll show how easy it is to create. We can create a disk of whatever size we want, and then we can expand that disk, and we can show how quickly that gets passed through to the server, and how we can dynamically change the disk on the fly, all of it while running without any reboots.
Cool.
That's the theory, anyway.
They want to move to the cloud.
So if iSCSI's doing well, cheaper, and can perform as well, what's keeping fibre channel going, really?
Hi, welcome to IT Idiots, episode 74. My name's Nicky Curtis, and joining me today, we've got Mark Moss, who, about an hour ago, we filmed part one of Storage Area Networks, and we were planning to do it as one episode, to be honest, but it got a little bit long, so we're going to carry straight on now and go into part two of Storage Area Networks, which is the demonstration of what we were talking about an hour ago or last week.
In part one.
In part one, that'd probably be the easy way to say. So, have fun. So that's that. Should we move on to the demo? Or
You want to move on to the demo?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, then move on to the demo.
Right, so what we've got here, I'll just explain what we've got. So I've got one machine here, so let me just log on to this.
This is the bit you've been waiting for, isn't it?
This is the bit I'm waiting for. This is where Mark's going to show us, or Mark's going to guide me through creating some storage and presenting it to some physical and some virtual machines. So Mark, what am I looking at the moment?
Okay, so we've got one server.
Yep.
And on this server, we are going to connect it to a SAN. This happens to be a HP SAN. It really doesn't make any difference what the SAN is. I've just used the HP SAN just for demoing and just so people can see what we're talking about. It could be a NetApps, it could be Dell, it could be EMC, it could be anything really.
OpenFiler.
I'm not going to get too hung up on the manufacturer, just going to talk around the storage. But we've got for this demo an old HP SAN. So we've got an old EVA 5000, and this particular server that we're on has got fibre channel host bus adapters, which are QLogic. It's got 2 of them connected, I think, by 4 gig into 2 SAN switches, and we've got the normal network cards, nothing special, connected up. And I think if I just load that up, you can see we should have, if it comes up.
Yeah. It's demos level.
Just so that people can see, we've got 3 network cards which are just configured in a team, traditional networking team, which you'll see in a moment can have issues, but this looks quite impressive to start with. But we'll see some kind of flaws with this kind of technology.
So these are the network cards we're planning to access the SCSI over?
Yeah, actually at the moment these network cards we're using for everything. So we're connected to this server, we're copying data over this server. There's 3 of them teamed together, so they will kind of appear to be 3 gig because they are gigabit cards. Although we'll show you that what you see and what it really is not the same thing. So and that's what a lot of people think, actually, that they've teamed 3 cards together and they've got 3 gigabit of throughput. We'll show that in a moment. So normal network cards in a normal team, we're using HP teaming, could be Broadcom teaming, it doesn't matter. It's kind of common technology that most people are used to. And we've got some QLogic network cards. So the first thing I want to show really is, I think you had it up there, is just the SAN. So let's just talk around briefly the concepts of a SAN, and it doesn't really matter which manufacturer we're talking about here. What we have, I think we've spoken about before, is a number of disks. So on this particular model, we have a number of disk shelves, and on each of the shelves, you can see there, we've got a number of disks. Yeah, so we've got 5 disks on that shelf. And if I click on one of the disks in bay 1, we can see some information about the disk, and we can see that that is a 146 gig drive. And if I just scroll down, we can see there's 92 gig of data being used on that particular disk. And this goes all the way down, and if I just click on another disk shelf just very quickly, so you can see another disk shelf, another disk, and lo and behold, it's the same size disk, and it's also got 92 gig of data. So on this particular model, whenever you put data onto the SAN, the disks are grouped together, and the data is spread evenly over all of the disks. It has a leveling process on there. If you was to add a disk, the data would level over the additional disks. If you take a disk out, it moves the data off the disk onto the others, and you can safely remove the disk. Very similar on most manufacturers.
So it'd be quite easy to sort of upgrade your storage in that way. If you had like 4 lots of 146, you could take one out and just put a 320 in there, and it would self-level.
If you've got enough space, you could actually put the bigger disks in first, actually add them to the group, and then when they're all into the group, you can actually then say remove the smaller ones. And in the background, it would start moving the data around, and when all the data's off the smaller ones, you could just take them out.
And all while people are still accessing it.
All while people are still accessing it. The only thing that determines how long it will take is how busy the SAN is. There's always a background process, so that if you've got a very busy SAN, it will take quite a long while, because it
sort of prioritises.
That's correct. This particular model, you can mix and match disk types and sizes. So we've got 146s, you could put 300s in there. These are the fast fibre channel disks. You could put the ATA based disks in there as well for the slower, normally like the 500 gigabytes or the 1 terabyte. So they could all be mixed in the same shelf on this particular model. So different manufacturers slightly different, but concepts are still the same. So what you can see for our storage area network is we've got a number of disk shelves. The disk shelves on this particular one are connected to some controllers. So you can see we've got controller B and we've got controller A. Now you can just see some statistics there about the controllers.
So you're getting 2 controllers just for tolerance?
Yep, 2 controllers for resilience. All of the shelves are actually connected via fibre channel, and each of the shelves has two connections to it.